side, which is somehow a tough team. It was going to be difficult for them, but take nothing from them. There's still a chance to qualify. The third place is there, and finishing second is also there. So it's just the first win. I know Tom Siemfet is a good coach, and he's going to get things right for the Gambians in the future games.
Boris Asono, Gambia did not impress you at all.
Not really. I predicted that there's going to be an upset in this particular game, but unfortunately, the prediction was way off. I knew that Senegal might carry the day 2-1, but I was surprised as to the fact that Gambia failed to produce a goal in this particular game. It just shows you the level of experience. I think we had a caller last time who talked about the issue of experience, and experience sometimes matters. Yes, that is Senegal's first trophy in 2021, but they have the experience in the players. Jimmy talked about it, Sadio Mane, and a couple of well-known, established players on the African continent. That is Kalidou Koulibaly, and we equally have the likes of Sadio Mane, who gave an assist in this particular game as his side Senegal picked up the victory 3-0, and the first goal came around the 4 minutes of play. It equally means that Senegal had looked at what transpired in the other games, in the game against Nigeria, in the other game against Egypt, and they knew that they had to go all guns blazing, and that's why you saw they were already on the front foot and succeeded in getting the first goal around the 4 minutes of play. So it's a very good start for Senegal. Remember that they are the defending champions, and they really want to start off on a fine footing, and I'm happy that they started on a fine footing. We're just hoping that the other team that will be coming up in a few hours or a few minutes, Cameroon, also they might start on a good footing. But I think our first day of play for Senegal, very good victory, and I'm very happy to the performance of Ismail Assar. I'm equally happy to the performance of Lamine Camara, who got a brace in this particular game. And I think it's the first player to get a brace in this particular game, and of course equally going home with the man of the match in this particular encounter. So I think the boxes have been ticked so far for Senegal. First box item, get a victory against Gambia, ticked. First game, get a clean sheet against Gambia, tick. Score maximum goals against Gambia, tick. So I just feel like they are on a good footing in this particular tournament.
And definitely, and Senegal becomes the first team to have scored 3 goals in this particular AFCON competition that started on January 13, 2023. Precious, and over to you, Senegal. Can you say you are satisfied with your performance this afternoon, or were you waiting to see the Teranga Lions display like the way they just did over Gambia?
I'm extremely satisfied with the performance, but like I predicted that it would be 2-1. I expected something from Gambia. Like I expected that Gambia we saw a few weeks ago or a few days ago, that Gambia that played with Nigeria. I expected to see the full energy that they had. For Senegal, I knew it was something, a sure win, but I needed at least a goal for them. So to that extent, I can't say.
And that is it. It is Team Senegal that increased the goals to 14 goals so far after the game of today in Group C, to tell you that more goals will be coming up in the days ahead. Like Coach Rigobert's song said during their second return leg game over Burundi, he said "Les filets vont bouger," and yes, we are going to see if those nets actually are going to shake in some moments ahead, where Team Cameroon will be logging horns with Guinea. And over to you, Jamie Ateke. Remember that the last time that Cameroon played with Guinea, that was during the 2021 African Cup of Nations, and Guinea actually beat up Cameroon 2-0. Are we saying that we are going to see the same thing today? It's like, should we say it's a revenge for Team Cameroon?
No, that defeat came at the level of the African Nations Championship.
Yes.
When they the Douala Innovation Stadium. So it was really then testing the strength of our local championships. So, but in the AFCON, we've met 6 times with Guinea, and we've managed to win 2. Guinea win 1 and 3 draws. So, the last meeting between the two sides was 2019, which ended on a draw. And in 2015. It also ended in a draw. So the Guineans normally, though we had an upper edge over them in recent or in the history as far as the fixture is concerned, but recently, you look at the recent form of the two teams, it will tell you that the Guineans have something to show for this particular game. They've actually scored in 10 out of their 11 previous games. That shows they have been scoring from all cylinders. Yes, in the qualifiers they scored 11 goals with 11 different scorers. Only Naby Keita scored 2 goals in that roster. So they are a team where you cannot predict. Yes, they have a top man who is coming from Stuttgart, but you can't predict if actually they are going to rely on such a player, because they score from all cylinders. And so with a team that scores from all cylinders, it's going to be difficult for you to tackle such a team. And that's where they have a strength going into today's game. Likewise, Cameroon, they find it difficult to score alongside their defense have been shaky. They flicked out 8 goals in their last 10 games, which is something not regular for Cameroon. And yes, the attackers have been fair in the last 4 games. They've scored 5 goals in the last 4 games, but it's not still enough for a team like Cameroon to be going. Yes, they have a good AFCON record going into this game. Only 1 defeat in 17 AFCON matches. Won 8, drawn 8. It's a good record. But Guinea, likewise, in the AFCON record, they've won just 2 out of their last 10 AFCON games. So it tells you that the two teams, normally one has a good record recently, but in the AFCON they have a poor record, while the other has a good record in the AFCON, but recently they have been shaky. So it's all about the tactical approach of both coaches, how their players approach the game. The Guineans, yes, they have a midfield maestro like Naby Keita, who knows how to read the game, who knows how to find those passes and get the spaces. He's a technical player. We saw him at Liverpool. He was a very good player, though he's injury prone. But for Cameroon, you look at, I was a little bit doubting about the midfield of today, because we look at Kimeng, Cham. They made some series of errors during the qualifiers, which I believe that that's why I cried for Koundé Malone to be part of this particular team. But we just hope that this is the AFCON. The players know themselves that this is the AFCON, and Cameroon is Cameroon. 5-time champions. You are wearing the green and yellow, so the players have to up their game. I've always said this. Most of our players, they play in second-tier championships in Europe. They don't play in those top championships, but for the likes of Onana and Chupu, but most of them. So they have to up their game. Now they are given a chance. Kudu from the left, I doubt the way I see the lineup. It looks like it's a kind of mind's game, because I don't expect Kartoko to play as a number 9. He won't give you anything. He knows how to play from the right or from the wings. And so I'm seeing Magri and interchange between these two guys in the course of the game. So we just hope to see a good approach of the game. The mindset is prime. That's team spirit. Like I said, Cameroon has always been a team that doesn't depend on players. We're talking about Abubakar off mic, saying that he has been injured, he's going to be missed. Cameroon has never won the AFCON based on a particular player. We have won the AFCON on collectivity, team spirit, and that's why we built on our defense. That's why we were able to concede no goal in 2002, because we had a solid defense. Same thing in 2017. We conceded 3 goals. We had a solid defense. 84, same. 88, same. So we just want to see that team spirit. That's why I said the calendar which we had, going to Saudi Arabia, coming back to Ivory Coast, the no problem of match bonuses should be the key. Once the activities of the pitch are positive, I think that these players can actually perform here today.
Well, thank you very much, Damien. I think we should go straight away to look at the lineup released by Coach Rigobert Song, where it is Undwa at the helm of the goalpost, where you have a 4th defensive compartment, Yongwa, Mukundi, Christopher Wu, Castelletto, and at the midfield level, it's Zambo Anguissa, who is going to be the captain of this particular encounter against Guinea. You have Kaimen and in Cham. And meanwhile, the attack line, it is Nkudu, Tokwe Kambi, and equally Magrid. But we also know your praisers after looking at this particular lineup.
Well, first of all, a lineup which many were not expecting, a lineup which I was looking forward to it because I had already known that Onana will not be participating in this particular game. It has been hugely documented as to the fact that Onana just coming from England, and so there was no reason for him to be on the starting level, and that's why even on the bench, you see that Onana is not on the bench. We have Davis Ipase and Simon are the two other goalkeepers who are there as far as the bench is concerned. The aspect that we have to look at this is now the aspect of creativity. Where is the creativity going to come from? Yes, we have the likes of Anguissa, who is the midfield general on this particular side. He knows the tactical disposition. He has played with Kemen in the past couple of days. He has equally played with Cham in the last couple of games that Cameroon has had. I think this partnership has been boiling. But the aspect that we need is on the aspect of the crossing. And I feel like the reason why Nuhu Tolo is not in the game today is that Rigobert Song doesn't want to do the crosses. Because if Tolo would have been there, probably we should have been expecting the receivers, and that is Vanessa Bubaka, who is of course not there. And so probably that's why Coach Rigobert Song has decided not to go with Nuhu Tolo, who is good in the left rank in terms of this particular selection. And we're going now with Darlin Yongwa. I remember that Darlin Yongwa participated not in the game against Zambia, but the previous game, had a good performance. And probably that's why we're getting Darlin Yongwa. And equally in the game against Zambia, I think he had one of the goals there for Cameroon against Zambia. So it's a selection which is, I don't want to say bad, but it's a selection that doesn't really I just did. It's a team that when I look at it, I'm like, where is the creativity going to come from? And probably we might get it from Kato Ekambi. And but if you look at the performance of Kato Ekambi with Abba in Saudi Arabia, this guy has scored more than 5 goals ever since he left his club out there in France, that's Lyon, to Abba in Saudi Arabia. Hasn't scored more than 5 goals. Even 5 goals hasn't even reached that level. And we're talking about up front again. Yes, we are looking at Frank Magri. But what has Frank Magri contributed as far as Toulouse is concerned? We can't really justify. I will go with George Kevin Kudu. George Kevin Kudu hasn't participated with the Lions for some time now, and we are relying on this particular guy to give us the goal. So I think it's a formation that doesn't really push me to think that the Indomitable Lions can really produce more than 2 goals in this particular game. But we should not be surprised to see the Lions produce 3 goals, but I think it's going to be very, very difficult. But I think where the goals can come from, it has to be Kato Ekambi, because that's the maximum that we have in this particular side. Olivier Kemen, yes, he can participate in the midfield with Anguissa. But I see Anguissa as somebody who can take the 10th position in this particular game, because if we are relying on Kato Ekambi to drop in the midfield and collect the ball, then there's no way the goals can come in. So I'm saying maybe Anguissa drop into that 10th position to try to supply the ball there to Kato Ekambi. So it's going to be an interesting game. I'm just hoping that the day goes well, because like I said, at the end of today we might be seeing one team crying. Remember that at the end of this particular game against Senegal, the Gambian players were actually distraught. You could see some of the players on the green turf. They were like, this result wasn't what we had prepared for how many years. So should not be surprised that we see an upset in this particular game. But mind you that Rigobert Song, this is his first AFCON participation as a coach. He has won the AFCON 2 times with the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon. He has played in the AFCON 8 times. Remember, yesterday Andre Onana equaled, Andre Ayew equaled the number of appearances as far as the AFCON is concerned. So we need to see in French, le théorie de danger. How it's going to come out today. Coach Rigobert Song in before the press conference, he made I don't want to say a cynical reaction, but there's one statement that he made. I'm trying to look for that statement, that they know where they're going to, but they don't know where they will end. So they don't know if they'll end at the group stage or they'll end at the final. But I think the théorie de danger will say it this evening.
Quand tu vois un lion, ça veut dire que tu es en danger. Mais quand le non, ça veut dire que tu n'es pas en danger. Mais quand le lion te voit, ça veut dire que tu es vraiment en danger. We are going to see if truly Cameroonians are in danger this afternoon. Joseph Epie, looking at that lineup, we buy the same idea as Boris Osono saying that in Cameroon, it will be difficult for Team Cameroon to produce the same score line like the Twinga Lions of Senegal.
Well, I think I have a different opinion from that. Now, looking at the lineup Cameroon has, I always say Cameroon does not have someone to construct from the back like a top defender. We saw that in 2017 with Mishengade commanding from the back and scoring 2 goals at the AFCON. Now, who is going to make the passes? The goal we consider against Zambia, we saw the likes of Mukundi and Christopher Wobbin beat me one player, and I was shocked to see the same people starting up again. It is true that Nuhu Tolo gives the course in absence of Fai Collins, but I think we need him in this match because that's Cameroon's. Well, that's where we get our goals from courses. We're not used to the back build up right up to the midfield, then we score directly. We're used to goals coming from the flanks. And also, not having someone like Meme Kamalo, who was the assistant keeper in the last friendly match, I'm also worried. But everything being equal, the match is open for both sides to pick up the victory. But my main concern is who is going to make that defense, the commanding at the back. Because when we have someone like let's say you have the Nicolas Kulu or the big 5 shaders Shengade, he will give the commands and they will all obey. But you have Christopher Wo, you have Mukudi, you have Yongwa, and you also have the other. I don't see any of these particular players giving the command or taking responsibility for any shock. So I expect someone to be at the back line. You have a good midfield to one extent. Though Olivier Cham and Olivier Kimen are not up to standard which one, like what Jimmy was saying. You know, the top leagues in the world that you say, okay, these are good players like Zambo and Gisa. But to an extent they can match up because we have seen chances where they give shots on target or attempts on goal, which can also be a plus to the team. But now, when you look at the defenders who have been called up by Coach Gomez on this match and also the attacking line, it is so doubtful because I expect someone like Jay Clinton to come at that number 10 hole and play with someone like the 7 shed that is Kudu. We saw them what they did together in the match against Libya. I feel that's the same collaboration to be seen here today again. And then second half, you bring someone like a reinforcer, the person of to come in now and make the reinforcement. But with this formation, I think Coach Robert's song, like what Boris was saying, does not want to give the long crosses because there is no one to pick up the crosses. But mind you, Cameroon scored a goal against Burundi from Frank Magri from a cross. So I think he has the ability to go head high and also give an attempt on goal. So if the coach thinks that someone like Mekabalo and also Tulo around the police first half, the next team is going to have holes.
Without pressures, when you look at the defensive compartment, Mukundi, Wo, and Castelletto, we have seen them several times play at the defensive compartment. The newcomer here now is younger. The question now is, are these players adaptable to their playing styles? Is Yongwa adaptable to Christopher Wo, Mukundi, and equally Castelletto playing styles?
In my opinion, I think, yeah, he can adapt to their playing style because he has been with them during the training sessions. As we all know, the Indomitable Lions have been training for some weeks back, and he was there with them when they were training. And for me, the defense, if we have somebody there like Castelletto, Wong, I don't really see it as a weak or a bad defense, added to the fact that we have Fabrice Ondoa at the goal post, which means this lineup or these defenders really need to be on alert because this group, for me, I can tell would be as the most dangerous group of this AFCON. We just saw what Senegal did some moments ago. Senegal is not in to play. So if the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon need to keep up, need to leave the group stage, it means they need to do everything better. They need to put in their best from the defense to the midfield and right up to the strikers. They need to do their best because, as Joseph earlier said, Mumin Gambale is not there. We don't have Tolo for the crosses. So this starting 11, I will also say, as Esono said, it's not really that bad, but it is not the starting 11. Even the defense, it is not what most Cameroonians would have hoped for, like most football fans would have pictured as the starting 11 of the game. So at the level of the defense, I think Castelletto, they can really do something, but it's not really the best.
Now, I want to look at the aspect of substitution, Junior Teke. When we look at Madrid, Tokwe Kambi, and Kudu, and we have Lionel Atiba, we have Clinton Gill, and we equally have Monunga Mele. What do you think, if should in case this particular attack line is having an issue, who do you think, if you were with Coach Rigobert Song, you are going to bring in for results?
Well, if you look at the various the attack line, normally, I think knowing that we don't have to play the crosses, but you have players who can penetrate. I'm talking of Kudu, Katoko, and Magri. Those are players who can penetrate alongside Dani Yongwa. I think Dani Yongwa is a sprint. I mean, it's a sprinter who goes forward and can be able to track. Is the modern day left back when you talk of wing. When you talk of full backs in terms of the right left positions. So I think Rigobert Song Bana going for this trial, Magri, Kudu, and Toko, is because they are quick. They can carry the ball to the opponents. And so once you have those players who can carry the ball, Abubakar cannot carry the ball because he is that kind of a player who, yes, he can't.
To strike.
Yeah, he's always waiting for the crosses. But if you look at Katoko, is a quick player. Look at Magri; those are quick players. That's why we had to go for those young guys. But now coming to your substitution, if you look at it, Jay Clinton should be coming in to come and maybe assist at the level of the corners. Maybe he also has that piece to carry the ball and to trouble the Guineans, because the Guineans are going for a 4-2-3-1 formation. And so once you are going for a 4-2-3-1 formation, playing against a 4-3-3, at times the 4-3-3 also transforms to that particular formation at one point in time. So bringing in Jay Clinton, he comes in to add that same momentum of carrying the ball to the opponents, and that's what we've been lacking. So, like Boris was talking about the fact that where is the creativity going to come from? It's not going to come from a midfield. It's going to come from the attackers themselves, because the attackers can carry the ball as they can dribble in to trouble the defenders, not the midfielder. Because I don't see Kemeng or Cham Olivier doing the magic. We don't have a Chupu who can carry the ball from the midfield to the attack. So we need those guys now to come in and see how they can forge ahead and pose that threat to the defense. Now, my worry in the year now is the two center backs. I think we are missing something. I think they should have better done maybe of bringing in Omar Gonzalez, because Mukudi has been somehow making silly errors, which his slow pace is so too heavy to withstand a swift attack. We saw him against Russia, we saw him against Senegal. He was not on his best. So I think at this point, what we need to do is that Rigobert Song Bana has to protect, like Zambo. He's the one protecting the back four. So coming now to bringing Moinga Male, of what use, I think is only when we are winning. That's where you can bring Moinga Male, because he can actually defend when you are winning. We saw him against Zambia. He played in front of Castellito and he was trying to draw back. So that's where you can bring him only when you are winning, because you bring Moinga Male maybe when we are losing. You only come and give us his crosses, but who's going to head? Abubakar is not in the squad.
But we have Christopher who sometimes who leaves the defensive compartment. We saw it against Burundi.
It only depend on that. It only depend if at all we have such situations. But I'm talking of on open play.
Okay.
Yeah, open play. You need now Jay Clinton to come in, because when you have those Magris running behind those defenders, then you bring down Jay to come and maybe supplement whatever he has. But I think Rigobert Song Bana will just have. He knows why he selected this particular team. He's a defender. Though we are criticizing Mukuzi and Wo, he has been a defenseman. He had a good pair with Raymond Kalakongo. So he knows that maybe Mukuzi can play as a stopper. What we call a stopper. Then Wo plays as a sweeper. Based on how Mukuti performs on the pitch, he can be played as a stopper, where you are only there not to walk yourself like the number 4. So we just wish the team well to go and attack Guinea, because Guinea They are not playing without their two of their key players, Navigator and the guy from Stuttgart. They are not really playing with them, so we can have something to cheer, but we should be very careful with this Guinean side.
Indeed, we should be very careful, especially when your opponent gets to know how you play. And this new system, we are only going to see what it is actually going to deliver during the first 45 minutes of play. Appear to you, if you were to choose a player in this particular lineup made up by Coach Rigobert Song, who will you give more assignment to?
Well, like what Jimmy was saying, someone who could stand as a block between the attackers and defenders is no one else but Zambo Anguissa. So I expect him with experience, because in that squad now he's the most experienced player. So I expect him to take it. He's a captain, most experienced, and one of the oldest players in the squad. So I expect him to at times fall back to defense and make those runs like a number 10 shade, because we don't have a triple motive on the to make those runs and give those passes. So I expect him that he must take responsibility as a captain with experience and make those crosses, because you don't expect someone like Kudu to fall back instantly. So I expect him to become more sweet and more intelligent to make those crosses, because I expected on this final to someone like taking him along who was daring. But if he's not there, it means Zambo Anguissa must, because he is the one that we know is the face of a team as it stands now in Abubakar. So he must make those crosses, make those passes, and also put his body on the line. It is true, it's no more club football, but the national team football. So I think that he has a responsibility to make those runs, make those passes, and why not shoot on target, because he has few goals in the national team, which I think that if he's able to use his AFCON very well, he can make those shots on target.
Okay, to you, Boris Osono, if you are given the mandate to say, I dare this player to deliver all his 100%, who is that player going to be? Especially at the attack line.
Well, like I said, we have to focus on Karl Toko Ekambi, because Jimmy has been talking about it on other platforms as the fact that there are certain players who are coming to their pinnacle of their career. We talk about Ben Sabubaka, we talk about Karl Toko Ekambi, Choupo-Moting, but in terms of the present squad, it is Karl Toko Ekambi. I think he has a lot to prove. The AFCON 2021, it was Ben Sabubaka who overshadowed Karl Toko Ekambi. So I believe that this year he wants to prove that yes, I am the figurehead of this particular side. Yes, Ben Sabubaka is not there. I am here present and I'm here to deliver. And I believe that Karl Toko Ekambi wants to prove something in this particular game, and rightly so. He's a player who has a lot of experience, having played in the Africa Cup of Nations for some time, having played with various clubs out there in Europe, played with Lyon. Unfortunately, in the later part of his career in Lyon, it wasn't the best. He went to Saudi Arabia, first 3 games of play, he had a couple of assists, but the last couple of games hasn't gone well so far for his side out there in Abba in Saudi Arabia. So I think Karl Toko Ekambi has a lot to prove, and somebody is one of those players who I believe can produce the goods for the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon today. That notwithstanding, you know, Zambo Anguissa has also been another player who has a lot of stake in the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon. Many are looking at his club career and his national team career, and he made a very good point in one of the interviews. You cannot compare Napoli and Cameroon. They are two different sectors. The way he plays for Napoli is not the way he plays for Cameroon. So you cannot expect him, the likes of Anguissa to be like he's in Napoli, because there are so many different qualities of attackers that feed off him. As far as Napoli's structure is concerned, that's to be at the forefront of orchestrating the affairs of the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon. And we should not be surprised to see the surprise package of Darlin Yongwa. I feel like this is the surprise package in this particular side. The guy has been silent in the past couple of years for his side, but I think the game that he had against Zambia, he saw his qualities, and I believe that he's somebody who equally has a lot to prove that he can deliver. My surprise from this team comes at the level of Jean-Charles Castelletto at the right back. I don't know Jean-Charles Castelletto as a right back. I know Jean-Charles Castelletto as a central defender. In the last couple of games that Cameroon has played with, we have Jean-Charles Castelletto and No Tolu or Harold Mukundi as far as the defense compartment is concerned. That we had Darlene Yongwa, and equally the likes of Fai Collins, and equally No Tolu, as far as the left back and right back positions are concerned. But it's a surprise to see Jean-Charles Casleto at the right back. I don't know if there's a bit of a tactical disposition from Rigoberto in this particular lineup. Don't be surprised, we might go for a 3 defense and we push Jean-Charles Casleto in the midfield to have a 5 and try to free in Anguissa in this particular setup. So I think, like I said, this lineup is not a lineup that gets me on my seat. That gives me goosebumps to the level that you see a lineup, you say, no, this lineup is a lineup that can give something. We saw the lineup of Senegal and we're like, this is a team that really wants to do something. When you see a certain player like Kalidou Koulibaly, you see a certain player like Sadio Mane, Edouard Mendy, then you begin to see them. So this is a side, this is a country, this is a team that really wants to defend their title. So Song has done his own. He has selected the players who he sees fit. The other tactical disposition has to come at the level of Guinea. I think many people are minimizing Guinea. They are minimizing Guinea to the point of view that they see Guinea as a lesser known team. They see Guinea as a side that cannot do harm to the Lions. But I bet you they see National is a side that has a lot of quality. There is Isiaga Saila. If you recall, in 2021, this guy played at the Limbe Centenary Stadium. He participated in the AFCON and he scored Guinea's first goal in the 2021 AFCON. And that game was against Ethiopia at the Limbe Centenary. Don't be surprised that Isiaga Salah scores again tonight. Remember, like Jema was saying it earlier, the Stuttgart man, Seyu Girassi, unfortunately is not on the lineup today. He has an injury. And now the ball of contention will be on Isiaga Salah and Ilax Moriba. Remember, Ilax Moriba played with FC Barcelona. And he had a good time around with Barcelona, but unfortunately, with the quality that Barca has, he went on loan and he was finally sold. So Guinea has a lot of quality. And mind you, AFCON 2021, Guinea faced Senegal on match day 2 of the AFCON 2021. It was a 0-0 draw. So it tells you that Guinea can match up with the big boys. So we should not minimize Guinea today. Like I said, we might be crying. It might be the Lions, or it might be the Silly National. But I think, I don't want to say the Lions, but if I say the Lions now, will be looking at me as like, but I think it's going to be a crucial game today. I believe that we might see an evenly game because both sides are really tough. I'm just like, something is really saying that Guinea might be going to win today.
So no, tell that something, to tell that other something, to stop it.
No, we have to be objective. In as much as it's our country, we hold it dear to our heart, but we have to be objective sometimes in the way we do our things. In as much as we say that Cameroon will win, but we should know that Guinea has a lot of quality, a lot of players that can hurt us in this particular game.
We are not,
and like I said,
there are supposed to be surprises, and we are only going to wait to see the surprises that this particular lineup is going to offer. Now, in terms of exploitation, I think there are some players that Cameroonians would like to see Coach Rigoberto exploit. We talk about Benjamin Elliott and Faris Momania, who especially Faris, whom during some friendlies actually showed the Cameroonian population that he can actually offer something. Now, when it comes to Ben Elliott, many still don't know what Ben can offer. I don't know if you are going to buy the same point to me, Jimmy Ateke, in terms of players to exploit during this AFCON.
Well, I think normally, like we've always been saying, this like Magri, Kudu, those are new talents.
Yes, yeah.
Remember that we are going to this AFCON, only 10 players out of these 27 played the World Cup. And so it's a new breed of new indomitable lions who are coming in. So it's an opportunity for Kudu, Magri to discover their talents. That's how we discovered Teke Gande. He's a fine young lad who is coming up, a young lad who has some future. But it depends on the coach. He still has time. It's like Gapange. that age bracket where you not pressurize the coach to be putting them on the pitch, because I think they'll have their game time. Maybe after the AFCON they'll have some. They are the future of Cameroon football. Now we are talking about the players who can deliver at this point in time, because now Cameroon has never gone to the AFCON as underdogs. We always go as favorites because of our history and so forth. So at this point in time, what we need is the players, Magri, Kudu. Those are players who have been given the opportunity to start the AFCON. Yes, we talked about Guinea. We should not take anything from Guinea. Like I said, they scored in 10 out of 11 previous matches they have played in all competitions. That's a very good record to tell you that they score at least 0.5 goal, 0.9 goal per game in those 11 games. So they can trouble any attack. Like I said, they have 10 different scorers from the qualifiers. Now when you are playing a team against 10 different scorers, it becomes difficult for you to mark, because everybody plays collectively. Now they don't even depend on their key players again anymore. They now know that everybody can score the goal. So that is where we have to be very careful. That's why I say that each and every player who has been given opportunity today have to be at their very pride. From that, where you need to showcase your talents, you need to defend your colors. You are putting on a green, red, yellow shirt, which signifies 5 stars. Danny Nyongwa, you are giving your first debut at the AFCON. Magri, Cham Olivier, Kemeng, those are debutants in the AFCON. This is your first tournament to play. Discover your talents, discover who you are, make your own name in your history, like Siani Ondua in 2017. That should be the mindset. I think he is a player who has a good fighting spirit. In his days, he had that fighting spirit, and that is what made him to have a charisma as a leader. Now, if at this point he should be able to transmit that fighting spirit to these players, knowing that most Cameroonian teams have won through fighting spirit, and that's what most teams in Africa do not have. We have that fighting spirit. We can't take anything from Guinea, but once the fighting spirit is there, Cameroon is Cameroon. Even the likes of Senegal will be afraid to play such a team. So we just have to watch the game and see how the players are going to execute whatever Rigobert Song Barnak tells them. Now, for the case of Castelletto playing as right back, he has played 3, like Boris was lamenting why, but players, Castelletto has played the right back for past 3 games or so. Now, Rigobert, some coaches transform players.
Yeah,
I can take you. Sergio Ramos is a natural right back, but he was transformed to a centre back by Jose Mourinho. Same thing, Mikel Obi was an attacking midfielder who was excellent. If he continued, he could have compared with Messi at one point in time, but Mourinho transformed him. So, I think Rigobert Song Barnak, he has looked at the fact that since Fai is not there, he doesn't have trust. He's a coach. He sees the training. He sees how these boys train, and he knows the players whom I need of a particular game. And so, if we're expecting that Chamajo to come in at right back, that was our hope. But he sees the training. He sees what those players can offer. He sees their output. He knows the player who is good for this particular game. And so Castelletto, with his experience at AFCON 2021, he best fits that position. And he has been good playing the right back position. So it's not big deal, or it's not news that you transform a player from that. But the problem now is that centre back. If we have to, because now we have Castelletto is a good player who can accelerate as well as track back. Same with Danny Yongwa. But now the problem now is the stability at the defense line. How stable are those two pairs going to be, Wo and Mukudi? For Anguissa, he needs to learn how to be daring, like Pierre was saying. You need to learn how to be daring, go into these shocks. We are not saying that injuries are part of the game, but you must be able to put your life on the at one point in time, because put your life on the line, because you are defending your country and everybody is looking at you. And Zambo is one of those players that brings in the marketing when it comes to the AFCON. And so the entire media landscape, the sponsors, they are looking at specific players, and Zambo is one of them. So you must prove it. Drogba, they proved it in their days alongside Michael and saying, so why not you? So this is a time when each and every player have to take their responsibility, do what they have to do, and ensure that we get the victory.
Est-ce que les filets vont tremper? On va savoir dans bientôt. And yes, that is it. We are sorry for those who are asking for prediction. Yes, we're sorry that we did not open predictions. Predictions are open and they are going to close at 6:15. So for those who want to contribute in terms of this particular prediction for today, Cameroon, Guinea, it is open. You can start sending in your contribution. Sorry, I will not take calls. You guys have been calling. Sorry, I cannot take calls at the moment because 9 minutes away from here, the game will actually be starting. We're sorry, do not be angry with us, but that's it. You can start sending in your predictions. Like I earlier said, predictions are going to end at 6:15. That is 15 minutes after Cameroon Guinea's game must have started. And I go straight away for us to go and watch that game. Predictions, Precious.
For my prediction, I will still go with the same prediction as it in the afternoon because Guinea is not a team that we should underestimate. So I will Guinea Cameroon. I will give them 2 in favor of Cameroon.
2-1 in favor of Cameroon.
Yes.
Jamia.
Well, I think as it stands, normally it's going to be tough. Guinea, they've proven to be an outsider. I'll go for 1-0.
In favor of
Cameroon.
I thought you wanted to be a black leg.
Yeah.
Just say Pierre.
Well, the fact that Cameroon has just fought with the coach Kobe song and they must concede most of their matches, I'll go for a 2-1 Cameroon candidate.
2-1 Cameroon candidate. General Basia.
Bishop.
Underdog site.
Like I said, we should not minimize Guinea. I believe that Guinea might cause an upset in this particular game. But I know we standing Cameroon might equally pick up a victory. Like Joseph said, there might be a scores on equal side. Probably 1-1 draw between Cameroon and Guinea today.
And that is it in terms of predictions. Please, we cannot take calls at the moment. Maybe when we are analyzing the first 45 minutes of play, then are we going to open the lines for scores. But as it stands now, you have the chance to win a very big package from AFCON Special over High Television. As you get the right prediction, mind you that a very gros cadeau will be coming to you in terms of this particular game. As for our prediction, let's watch and see what is going to happen.